Another thing that came out of that Thunder Hurricanes game was Nic Maddinson retiring himself out. Now, I must confess, I'm surprised this hasn't happened more often. I think it was a selfless move from Maddinson, who, as I understand it, made that call himself as opposed to it coming from the dugout. But I'll ask you, I'm sort of putting words in your mouth. Yes, no, wait, a good decision.
I'm going to say wait because I don't necessarily like it personally.
Right.
Now, I've been involved with teams. So the Chennai Super Kings, we retired Devon Conway. He was 60-odd not out, and he was getting tired. He was losing a bit of power, so we retired him at the back end of a T20 innings. And he comes off, and he was bemused. Like, he was like, hang on, I'm on 65, 70 not out. I feel like I'm going well, and you've retired me to bring in like a hitter to finish things off. With the Nic Maddinson one, he'd invested 30, however many balls he'd faced on the wicket. So he was used to the conditions. It's not that easy for a new player to come in, i.e. Daniel Sams, and just hit the ball out of the park from ball one. So the question for me is, I understand the thinking, and Sams came in and, to be fair, did a reasonable job, but could Maddinson have done just as good a job, if not better, because he would been out there for longer and used to the conditions? I mean, we'll never know the answer to that question. So what did Sams hit? I saw he definitely hit 1-6, and I think he nicked one over the slips but went for 4. Yep. So I don't know if he scored many more than that.
Around 200 for his innings.
Yeah. So
he didn't face too many balls either, admittedly.
And that's pretty good. But, I mean, Maddinson, he probably could have gone about the same. So, and then you've got to also understand what effect does that have on the player. So Maddinson retiring himself, that's absolutely fine. But if that had have come from the side and, does that affect the player thinking, oh, gosh, these guys don't rate me or they don't think I can finish the game off? It can have a negative effect unless you've spoken about it as a team before the tournament. So, for example, for Devon Conway, he was bemused when we decided to retire him in that particular game, and I think it had an effect on him moving forward.
So then does that mean there needs to be a mindset change from cricket, that it's almost like taking a bowler off who's not doing a job for his team and replacing him with another bowler, that it can happen to a batter as well, who he might be 12 off 18 balls when they need to be going at 8s and 9s, that, I'm sorry, you're not doing a good enough job, we're going to replace you like you would if it was a bowler. So is that a mindset change thing?
Yeah, but I think you need to sit down as a team before the tournament and have these discussions and sort of say, look, what do we think as a team? When do you think is the right time to do it? I'll give you another example. I was coaching in the 100 with the Welsh Fire, and we had a player, I'm happy to name him, Steve Eskenazi, and he was batting nicely. It was a difficult pitch, but he has a reputation of being very good in the power play and then not really been able to find the boundaries through the middle phase of the game. And so there was discussions going on in the dugout of whether we should retire him and bring in a player that can find the boundary through the middle, a guy called Tom Kohler-Cadmore. And I was sitting there and I'm thinking, I don't like this. So we decided not to do it. And to be fair, Steve Eskenazi absolutely dominated the middle phase, ended up on 60-odd and hit a number of boundaries. And I thought, thank goodness we didn't retire him, because the new guy coming in might have had to take 4 or 5 balls to get used to the conditions and then be able to try and pick up the pace. And I'm so glad we decided not to do it. So there is going to have to be a change of mindset, but I don't know. I'm still reticent to go for it.
See, I was dead set on it being a good thing, but even you saying it now, it's starting to make me feel like it's good on paper or good in theory, but it doesn't necessarily work that way when you put it in practice.
If you've got, say, like an Andre Russell waiting in the wings and you know he can come out and smash it from ball one, for the last couple of overs, maybe you do just send him in there and say, try and hit a couple of sixes. And if the batter out there in the middle is getting tired or he's lost a bit of power or he's just not been able to find the middle of the bat for a period of time, then definitely consider it. But I feel like you need to have that conversation as a team.